Yeah? Okay, because last time you did a little snappy thing.
Yeah. No, I'm going to come and do that.
Are you going to do it again?
Yeah, I do it every time just so I can sync the audio and the video because they're recorded on two different. One's recorded on the roadcaster and then the video's recorded on ATEM. This camera here. Aye, that would see what I mean. This is so like. Go. I just figured out which one it is. It's like looking at a mirror and then trying to fix your hair sometimes.
Hi and welcome to This Is Grey Areas podcast. I'm Alice Austin, a music journalist, and I have invited my friend, DJ producer, ANIKONIK. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to do this podcast with you today.
We are going to chat about, well, all sorts, but I think perhaps we can start with, okay, so I'm really curious. You grew up in a small town in Scotland.
Yes.
Called, remind me?
Calendar.
Okay.
Yes.
What was your early experiences with music? Like, because your music taste today is you play like neurofunk. You play
all sorts,
140, halftime.
Yeah, so a bit of a varied music taste when I was younger. My dad used to be a bit of a DJ, so he was like always playing disco and sort of like 90s trance kind of things and stuff like that about the house. The Prodigy was big as well. Yes. Prodigy was my first ever gig when I was 13 years old with my best friend.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's great. Where did you see them?
SECC in Glasgow. I remember me and my friend were going along and just being like, wow, everyone's so drunk. It was wild. It was really, really good. And that kind of led me into the sort of like... into metal and stuff like that. So for a long time I was a big metalhead, really into the aggressive kind of stuff, like emo scene, that kind of thing. And then eventually, the electronic music was sort of always in the background because, the Prodigy's quite electronic and stuff like that. So there was always like an air of that element that I liked. And I loved Linkin Park and their Reanimation album, which was really heavily electronic.
Yeah.
So there was little ties of it there. And then it wasn't until I sort of, moved away up into Dundee, into the city, when I got to experience sort of like underground music, drum and bass and stuff like that. I made friends with people in the art school and they were all quite eclectic and had different interests. And so I'd go to parties and stuff with them. And then I got introduced to my first drum and bass night in Edinburgh, which was in Cab Vol, and it was high contrast playing. And I remember just going in and being like, this is it.
Oh my God.
This is it. I was like, what is this? I need this more in my life. And then 13 years later, I'm here, trying to make it a big part of my life. And so that's kind of somewhat of the journey that I've been on to get to where I am. It's just that I think with metal and stuff like that, it's very aggressive, it's very emotional. Mm-hmm. And I found drum and bass to be like that too. It's like the punk of the electronic music scene, right? Where people, a lot of misfits go to come together.
Yeah.
And that's why I related to them a lot. So that's why I was just like, I love this community, I love this music, and I'm still doing it today.
I always find it so interesting actually, like that correlation between like metal heads and like drum and bass and like neurofunk especially. Like there's clearly something in that.
Absolutely.
A lot of art, like drum and bass artists and producers are also drummers as well. Mm-hmm. And like I'm exactly the same. My first love for sure musically was like, well, first of all, okay, it was probably Blink-182 and Green Day.
Yeah.
To be
I love that. Yeah.
But then I graduated to System of a Down.
Oh, yes.
Love System of a Down so much.
They're so good.
Refused? Do you listen to Refused? They were like, they were kind of like more punky, but like they were like really hard fast. They were kind of like hardcore punk.
Okay.
I was just like so into that. And it's really interesting because I met so many D&B artists who are just like that link between like metal and like electronic. That sound is like really, really closely linked.
Yeah, I think you kind of, with drum and bass, you either come in from like a hip hop side or you come in from the metal side. And it's really prevalent in the neurofunk scene, I think, because it's so dark.
Yeah.
So most of the people that are into neurofunk, I found are also metalheads and stuff like that, which is interesting.
Okay. So in terms of like the metal side of things, like were you going to like any like metal hardcore gigs as a teenager kid, or did you go straight into like drum and bass?
No. So I mean, I went to a couple of like metal gigs. I've seen like Limp Bizkit, Green Day, Linkin Park, and I think a couple of other ones as well. I think Muse and stuff like that as well. Mm-hmm. They weren't really metal, but like, I went to like big sort of stadium gigs like that. And all I knew of clubbing and partying and music in that sense was mainstream clubs and metal gigs. I didn't know about this undercurrent of underground music because I grew up in Callendar, and it's really sheltered there. Like, you know, the closest thing you've got is like Stirling with like the Foo Bar and Dusk back in the day were like the mainstream clubs, and I thought that was the pinnacle of clubbing. And then I found out this whole other undercurrent, which you'll know about because, you know, you've grown up in London and stuff like that. That's like prevalent there, where it's not that prevalent here. So
Yeah.
you have to know people almost to get into that scene.
Yeah, honestly, I think I was a bit overexposed in London.
Yeah.
Like growing up in South London in like zone 3, like you just have, my early experiences were like, you know, I was going to clubs at the age of 13 and I had exposure to like all sorts of music. So you're kind of a little bit overwhelmed with choice and like,
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to me to hear about you going from Callendar. Which
I know.
What's the population of Callendar?
Oh, it's a couple of thousand. It's not very big. Like,
Callendar into like straight into like dark.
Yeah, like
dark
the extremes. I love my extremes. So it's like extremely like like, you know, chill, or it's extremely like, you know, aggressive, and I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the kind of life balance I have now as well, with moving back into the countryside and stuff like that now.
Yeah, I really want to hear more about that.
Yeah.
So in terms of like your early experiences, like you said you were you got into it in Edinburgh and Dundee?
So I moved up to Dundee to study at university. I did fine art. And that's how I kind of met other people that were into sort of underground music. And I went out clubbing a lot in Dundee as well, like the Reading Rooms, which was the most fantastic place. Like, you know, it's rest in peace. It's not a thing anymore, but it was like the best club, you know, in Dundee. And it's where all the people who were like interested in underground music were as well. So was lucky to experience that. And then, you know, we would start going out to nights in Edinburgh, because Edinburgh was the real hub of like drum and bass in Scotland. It's a bit quiet at the moment, but like, you know, it was where like most of the drum and bass heads were going and stuff like that. So I'd spend a lot of time in Edinburgh, and eventually I moved there because of the music and stuff like that as well.
Okay. And then what was the catalyst that got you into DJing?
It started off as like a hobby. I remember seeing two guys, Ellis Main and Colin McLean. They were DJing at a party. And I remember just being like, what is that? They were playing on Tractor. And I was like, what is that? That's really cool. I want to learn that. And I just started like playing around with it and stuff like that. And I became really close to them. They sort of like taught me how to do things. And then I got my first gig, which was at the degree show, the fine art degree, well, the art school degree show. And it was like 9 till 10. And I was playing the most aggressive drum and bass. Everyone else was playing like techno on that after me, and I was like straight in there 9 o'clock, like there was like 3 people there that were my friends. So I was just like, let's go.
That is so cute.
And
so you were headlining your first gig? Sounds like it.
Yeah, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. headline slot, like definitely. But I was playing a headliner set, like. So yeah, and then it sort of. I joined a collective called Jungleism, which shortly after I pretty much completely took over. And so that started off in Dundee. And we were just like running events at the Beat Generator and stuff like that. And we'd be so happy if we even got 30 people through the door. We'd be like, yes,
oh my God,
what a vibe. So good. I ran another night before that as well called Submersion, which I did a couple of events for, which was more like dubstep as well as like drum and bass and everything like that. But Jungleism, like when I got into that, I was just like, oh, this is nice. This is another little collective. And so I slowly started taking over that. And then we started doing the Jungleism Castle Party, which was in Mains Castle in Dundee, which was a 12-hour day party that we do once a year. And my sort of aim with the Castle Party was giving the promoters of Scotland and Scotland's scene a chance to come play for each other. Because a lot of the time, promoters are DJs themselves, and they usually have to stick themselves on first or something like that so they can have their acts and that play after. Whereas the Castle Party was much more like, no, it's your time to shine. Like, you know, and other promoters would then, you know, book each other and meet each other. So it's like a proper family collective thing in like Scotland where all the drum and bass like heads came together, which was a lot of fun. I did that for about 10 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Right. Until when did that end?
So about 2 years ago, I kind of lost a little bit of steam with it. It was a lot of effort. And yeah, the sort of the current climate with music is difficult, and like promoting is really hard unless you've got like good financial backing. It can be really a hard thing to do. So it was getting a little bit tough. Maybe in future I'll maybe do like a one-off with it again.
Sick.
Because it was quite a special event, and I really loved doing it. But it just, it would be like 3 months of me just being stressing out, like trying to get this organised.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds really important though, because like I guess the Scottish drum and bass like jungle scene is very niche, right? Like if you could put your finger on it, like how many people are in that scene?
Like as DJs and promoters?
As DJs, promoters, yeah. Who are
I'd
active in it.
Maybe like between 30, 50.
And then how many people like listen to
exactly.
it?
Exactly.
30, 50?
And like, yeah. That's the thing. Like, so it's niche, and it's great in the sense of like everyone usually gets on with everyone. Like, a lot of people don't want to book like you're not often going to get 2 drum and bass nights running in the same time in the same city unless someone's being, because why would you do that? You've only got, as you say, such a small crowd. Why would you separate them? So a lot of people did like work together in that sense, which was a nice sense of community and everything like that. And I've kind of lost where I was going with that.
No, that was the question really, is like how big is the community? Like it's already super niche. So it sounds like you were like just cultivating your community with that party.
Yeah. And it was nice. So like, I'd kind of, when I was like doing the timetables, sort of like giving the DJs their slots and that, I'd give the people that have been doing nights for the longest, like for example Tez from Jungle Nation, who's been running it since I think it's 1994 or 1995. It's over 30 years. I would be giving him the top slot. And then Symbiosis, they've been running events in Glasgow for about 25 years, so they'd get the slot just under that, and I kind of work it like that.
Oh, that's nice.
So like, the people that have been doing it for ages get the top slots, and people get to really, because they're they're some of the best DJs. They're proper immersed in it and have been for years. So they don't get their time to shine when they're putting on events and then they're putting on headliners. So I'm just like, no, this is your time. So this was important to me so that they still get their dues, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. And in terms of like, obviously all artists probably just want to connect with as many people as they can.
Yeah.
Like what is the temptation, maybe for you specifically, to move to, was there ever temptation to move to like London or Bristol?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, because the scene is so much bigger down there. And there was a time where I was speaking to an agent, and he was showing some interest about potentially like taking me on and stuff like that, which was obviously great. But then I told him that I lived in Scotland, and he was like, nah. It's like, you need to be like in London or Bristol. And I was just like, no. I was like, no. I was just like, I love Scotland. Like, I love it. I love the fresh tap water and the fresh air and the hills and all this kind of stuff. I'm not leaving that. No way.
Wow.
I was like, so, it's probably, I think my career could have been a lot bigger, a lot faster had I moved down. But I'm a Scottish girl through and through, and I love it up here. So if it takes me longer, it takes me longer. And it's all about the journey for me anyway. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So there was no moment where you were like, that you weren't even tempted?
I was a little bit, but and this was a few years ago now, but I'm glad that I stayed up here, and I like it up here.
Yeah.
And it's nice to, like, if I get booked down there, I get to go down and experience it and everything, but it's nice to also come home to up here.
Yeah, wow. It seems like very unfair that like artists can't exist in a different part of the UK and have a thriving career.
Absolutely. I mean, there is artists that are definitely killing it.
Yeah.
And like, you've got Mrs. Magoo, you've got Equals, Imaloo, like they're all like making moves and getting booked in different places in different countries and stuff, which is amazing to see. But it is probably a lot more difficult. Scotland gets forgotten about a lot. Yeah.
So do you think it's literally just a case of like having more access to industry folk, and like people can get you on a train quicker from London or Bristol and stuff like that?
Yeah, it makes more sense. Like, they're like, all right, okay, who can we book, who's local, who's not going to cost us a fortune? Because, train tickets down to London from Scotland cost an absolute fortune. Like, so that's an off-put.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay their fee and their, like, their accommodation, stuff like that. Whereas if you're already based in London or something like that, you don't have to worry about that. They can just give you a fee. You can just go and play, and you can play a lot more gigs, and you can immerse yourself in more people and stuff like that. So yeah, it comes with its struggles being up here, but it's worth it in my eyes.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to hear. So obviously you were living in Edinburgh, and we'll talk a lot more about your production and your DJing in a minute, but like you recently, how long, like recently, like a year ago, you moved?
About 2 years ago now, moved back to Callendar.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I lived in the city, and I think that ties it, like, there's so many reasons why I left the city. I was like very much living this sort of rat race kind of thing, just trying to work to be able to afford to live there and not really having time to produce music or actually do anything that I wanted to do. And I was just like, what is going on here? Like, you know, I was like, and the weekends I'd want to be in nature and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to switch it about. I wanted to be in nature most of the time, and then in the weekends get to enjoy the cities and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of moved back with the parents just to like get myself settled and stuff like that. Like, you know, just build the base of that pyramid. And then now I moved over to a place called Aberfoyle, which is amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feel so lucky to be there. And I'm head over heels in love with it. And so yeah, very interesting switch from going from the rat race in the city to you know, nature and quiet, but definitely love the choice that I've made.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
How is it impacting your creativity and your productivity to live? I've been to your house.
Yeah. I've been to your house.
With your permission, I will say. It's so beautiful. Like every window is just green and luscious, and then you just like drive like 2 minutes away, and you're like by a lock, and it's just like luscious mountains.
Yeah, a little 10-minute walk. Oh, so walk for wow. Yeah, it's every day. It's just like there's not a boring moment there. Like, you know, I love it. I can just go out my door any second and be like, oh wow. Even standing in the back garden, I'm just like, oh, this is so nice.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fresh. So how does it impact your, like, when you wake up? Like, do you feel more creative than you did in the cities? Like,
because I've only just moved there recently. I'm like I've still been settling in, but I can definitely feel like, you know, I feel because my body feels relaxed now. Like I don't feel like I'm running on course at all. I feel like I'm able to tap into my creativity so much more, and I'm like, you know, I'm surrounded by inspiration. Like nature is one of like the most inspiring thing ever. Like, you know, I mean, there's so much to look at and touch and smell. It's just great. It's just like you know, great for the senses and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's doing me the world of good in terms of creativity. I just need to, now that I've sort of settled in, I just need to get into a routine again, because that's the one thing about city. I had a bit more of a routine, whereas now I'm sort of like, you know, I just chill out all the time. But now I'm just like, okay, I need to get back into that routine and get into like producer mode, which is great because it's coming into winter now. And I always find in winter time I can actually hunker down and produce much more than in summer. Like in summer, I just want to be outside.
Right, that makes so much sense. Yeah.
So,
and I know from your Instagram that you've been foraging. Can you tell me a bit more about that? I can see you foraging. Yeah. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Because it looks like it brings you so much joy.
Oh, I love it.
And I've got a couple of other producer friends who also love foraging. Mushrooms specifically, they love mushrooms.
Mushrooms are great.
So tell me why you love it.
No, I do. I love it. It's just it's like a small task that you can do that, you know, you're going out for your walk and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, like, it's chanterelle season, or it's porcini season, or like, you know,
are those mushrooms?
Yes, okay. There are different types of yummy mushrooms that you can eat.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that.
And it's just, you know, you're going out, and there's just something so nice about being out for a walk for maybe 4 or 5 hours or something like that, and coming back with like a whole satchel of mushrooms that you then make for your dinner. It's like you're connecting with the world. Like, you know, that's what they did way back. Our ancestors have been doing that for years, and it's just such a nice way to like connect with nature and be really present as well. Like, you know, because when you're like searching, you're like really immersed in all the forests and stuff like that, and paying attention to like what kind of trees you're about and the ground. Like, yeah, it just brings you really into the moment, I think. And then you get a little reward as well. It's like a little free gift from the world. Oh, look, here's some tasty mushrooms. Brilliant. So good.
Mate, sold.
Yeah, you're coming. You're coming. Yeah.
It sounds so good.
It's so nice.
So wholesome. And isn't like mushrooms are like, aren't they like one of the best things for the planet? Like, don't they like repair the earth?
They're amazing.
And, like, the air, and they make the air cleaner.
Everything. They do everything. They're just fantastic. Like, you know, definitely, like, you know, I think it's Fantastic Fungi on Netflix or whatever that is. That's a fantastic documentary. And like, you know, they can heal mental health, like physical health, like illnesses, like, yeah, they've just got so many uses. And obviously you get dangerous ones that kill you. We should avoid them. but they still have like cool names. Like I seen it's called a destroying angel. The other day.
That sounds like a neurofunk track title.
Badass. It's just like, oh, destroying angel, and it's just like this mushroom sitting there, like, like quite a pretty little mushroom. I'm like, oh, well, you're nasty. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know how if it ties into my music thing anyway, but like, yeah, my Instagram is funny because like on like the post, on my post, it's like, oh, serious DJ. I'm serious. Like, you know, I'm big hard drum and bass DJ, watch it. And then you follow me on my stories and it's like, mushrooms. Oh, look at all these plants and mushrooms. And people
so
are like,
true.
I do get people being like, I came here for the music, but I'm really invested in your nature things. And I'm like, yeah, nice.
So true. Yeah. Your Instagram is, we were talking about this earlier, like some like so cool, calm, like so like
serious.
sleek.
Because I'm serious about it. So I'm really serious about it. No smiles.
No smiling at all. Yeah. But
then you actually get to like you just stay tuned. You're like, oh wow, this girl's she's on another
nerd.
planet. Yeah, absolute nerd.
Did you know that? Well, someone told me this. Somebody was really into mushrooms. When you cook them, you're actually not supposed to cut them. You're meant to tear them because that releases like they're like already like really perfectly kind of like connected. So if you just tear them, that releases like what it's supposed to release. Like you're not meant to chop it.
I didn't know that.
Did you not know that?
No, I feel like I should have.
No,
because it makes sense with like chanterelles and stuff like that. Like they're perfect tearing mushrooms.
Yeah, just tear it. And
I can't imagine tearing a button mushroom.
You can tear a button mushroom.
I mean,
because it just like it comes at weird little angles, but it's like that's where it was meant to be. That's where I was meant to be separated.
I mean, it makes sense actually. Now I'm gonna have to it's just tearing up mushrooms like
tear up some mushrooms.
Yeah. That sounds right. Good idea.
And I really want to hear about obviously your EQ50 mentorship was like a really big stepping stone in your career.
Yes.
So I would love to hear how you got there. Like, firstly, was the application process difficult? And had you been producing much beforehand before you got that mentorship?
Yeah, so the EQ50 mentorship program, it was like still one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my career. Mm-hmm. It came about at the perfect time, to be honest. I was about, when was it? I think it was like 2019. I'd just been to Let It Roll, and it blew me away. I remember walking outside of there and I think there was Noisia on in the main stage. There was Black Sun Emperor on in the factory stage. I think Anix was playing in the Madhouse. And I remember just being like mind blown, like, oh my goodness, like how do these people get to do these big shows? I'd love to do it. And I'm like, oh, they're producers. And I'm like, well, how did they become producers? Well, they obviously learned. They obviously spent ages learning these things, which we can all do. We can all spend time and learn. I was like, okay. So I got off that flight and started learning to produce. Signed myself up into a sound production course. I didn't really stick it out because there was only one Ableton class a week and that's the only one I was really, really interested in. Mm-hmm. So I did a couple of one-to-one lessons with Taxman, the OG jump ups.
Yeah.
And that was really good. He taught me some really good like tricks and trades, like of the trade and stuff like that. And then the EQ50 mentorship program sort of got mentioned, like it was the first year of it, and I seen it on the socials, and I was just like, okay. And then I seen the labels that they were working with, which was like Ram Records, can't remember if I think it was Critical V Records and stuff like that as well. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going for that. I'm getting it. I totally manifested it. I swear to God, gosh. I manifested. I was like, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, I think lockdown had just hit, and when lockdown hit, I was furloughed. And so I was just like, right, okay, I probably never going to get this opportunity in my life again where I can just literally live completely natural without alarm clocks, don't need to get up and do anything, just need to do whatever I actually want. And I ran with that. So I just ended up producing all day, pretty much every day for like over 12 hours a day sometimes. So I was just like making music all the time. And I made like 3 or 4 like pretty decent tracks for somebody who'd only been producing for a year. And the mentorship was about, and they were like, send your tracks in and then, we'll go from there. Like, so I applied, sent in my tracks, and then I got told I was getting an interview with Ram Records. Like, and I was just like, for somebody who is into drum and bass, Ram Records is, I was just like, whoa, like, I was just like, this is nuts. But I was just like, nah, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. So did the interview, and then they selected me along with Mandy Dextrous as well, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah. They're
an amazing artist. And I was just like, this is so cool. Because, it could have just been Mandy, but then like they also took me as well. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then Sweet Pea from EQ50 was my mentor. And she is fantastic. She is just an absolute powerhouse. She's like, she needs to blow up. Like, people are sleeping on her big time, and she's an amazing artist. She makes such good music. She's such a good DJ, and she's just such a, like, good person in the scene, and I was very lucky to have her as my mentor. So yeah, so then the ball got rolling with the EQ50 mentorship, and then like, you know, I was like, you know, got so many opportunities for that. Got to play in Fabric, got to play in Printworks, got to play in XOYO, all because of EQ50. So it was like, you know, I'd been at like a bit of a plateau in Scotland with the drum and bass for a while. I'd played most of the drum and bass nights here, and I was playing them again and again, and that's fine. But like, it was hard to get my foot in the door like down south or anywhere else. So that really opened the door for me, and I met so many people through it and everything like that. So it was really,
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So for anybody who doesn't know, EQ50 is a mentorship program that was launched by 4 women, pioneering women in drum and bass.
So it's Sweet Pea, Flight, Mantra, and Chickaboo. And Jenny G, I think, was a part of it for a while as well. Yeah, so it's just like, really, really important women in the scene. Like,
and they connect new female flinter artists with the biggest D&B jungle
big labels
in the world.
Yeah. And then they give you sort of like, you get one-to-one programs, like you like one-to-one lessons with some of the artists on the label. They do A&R sessions with you. They sort of like, you know, tell you how to navigate like contracts and how to like boost your social media and like all the things that you need to know as an artist, like, you know, because they've done it for years already. So they give you all that information where you, before, you know, as a female artist, like sometimes you don't have that knowledge because you're not surrounded by these kind of people, whereas maybe guys have other like-minded people that they are surrounded with that have this information. So it was really, really, really good and important work. What they did.
Amazing. So were you working with, was it just you and Sweet Pea, or were you with all the other mentees as well? Were you working together with them?
Yeah, so we do a couple of like, it was mainly video call stuff at the time because it was still, I think, COVID. So there would be some like master classes and stuff like that. Like we did a master class with Ties from Noisia, and where we were all on the call and everything like that. And that was amazing. He's really, obviously he's a fantastic artist, but like it was really cool just to like be able to speak and connect to somebody like that, like through the program, which you'd never usually get that kind of opportunity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that is insane. How special.
I know. It's so special.
It's so special. And we talked a little bit earlier about how there was moments in that mentorship where you were feeling quite like anxious and stressed.
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, that wasn't directly from the mentorship. It was more the pressure that I put on myself. I ended up developing massive imposter syndrome, which was so frustrating because I went in with a balling mindset of like, yeah, that's right, I'm going to be part, like, you know, I'm going to work with Ram Records, I'm going to do this and do that. And then I got it, and I was just like, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not like, and then I just ended up like my mind just kind of like took over, and it's really frustrating when that happens. And it's taken me a long time to recover from it,
really?
In a sense. Yeah. But I think it's been for good. Like, you know, I feel like the stuff I was making, I was trying to fit into a box so that people would, like certain labels would take me and stuff like that. But I think as an artist, that's a bad idea. You just need to make what you make and what, you know, what comes naturally to you and what you like, and then certain labels, or if you want to start your own or release whatever, will come to you. Whereas before I was just like, I think I seen in your last in the last podcast that you did with Anagram, she said, it's like, I don't know who said it, was either you or Anna, said it was like trying to fit a circle into a square. And that's what was happening with me as well. And then so I lost a little bit of steam with it all, but now I'm on like a new trajectory with music, and I'm making stuff that's much more sounds like me. Like, you know what I mean? So I think it's all been for the better, but it was just very frustrating at the time.
Yeah, it's so interesting because you obviously see people getting these huge opportunities, like you are a mentee on EQ50, which is so massive. But I think privately, like often what happens is that there's this new pressure that you actually kind of weren't experiencing before that major success, and often it can actually like crush your creativity and actually sort of hinder what your ability to like progress. It's interesting because obviously that did help you progress. And I'm sure you learned so much.
Yeah.
But I think there's also just this like real like push and pull between like getting what you really want and achieving what you want, and then being like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can cope.
That's it. And it's just like, especially when it's almost like, it was like, I was like, oh, I'm so close. And then I was just like, this crippling thing in my head. So yeah, it was very frustrating. But yeah, it was definitely lessons, and I think I'm definitely stronger for it now and stuff like that. I also had extremely high standards for myself. Like, you know, I feel like because I think I'd been DJing for about 7 or 8 years by that point. And so I knew what really high quality tracks sounded like.
Yes.
And so a lot of the people I was comparing myself to, a lot of the people I was comparing myself to had been doing this for like 20 years, 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, comparing myself to Noisia, which is 3 brains and like 20 years experience between them, like 60 years worth of experience. And I'm like, oh, why does my stuff not sound as good as that? Like, that's a silly thing to do, but I was doing it.
What do you think, like, how do you think other artists can push through those thoughts? Like, because it's the same for me. I'm like learning to produce.
Yeah.
And I'm barely able to even open my laptop sometimes because I'm comparing my new skills, which I'm developing, to my favorite artists. And it's like, well, I can't, I'm like completely blocking myself from making any moves here because I'm just like, you know, it's impossible to move forward when you're comparing yourself like that.
It's really, really hard to navigate. I still suffer from it sometimes now because, like, you know, I'll get to the point where I'm in the studio, I'm like, this is a banger. Like, I'm so proud of this.
Yeah.
And I'll stick on some artist that's been doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe I need to clean that up a little bit. Maybe I need to do this. But I think it's just about, like, you know, owning it, like, you know, and just accepting that, like, no, it's not going to be perfect. I've only been producing for, say, 6 years. It's not going to be at the standard of somebody that has been doing it for 20 years or more. But then if you go back to their stuff 20 years ago,
it's shit.
Well, they started somewhere too. But like, actually, like they've gone through all the processes, and I think actually it's really important to get your work finished and just get out there.
Totally. Releasing it, like, and by release I don't mean like in the production sense. I mean like releasing it out third. Like, you've got to get it out.
Got to get it out.
I think I'm actually reading a book right now called The Creative Act, which is the reason I'm reading that is because a very, very good producer told me to read it after I told him exactly what I just said, that I can't produce because I'm comparing myself. But actually, like, apparently if you don't release what you're supposed to be creating, like if you let it stay within you and keep it private, then you can't continue the ecosystem of creating. So you actually have to let it go. Like, you have to get it out there, then so you can move on to your next creation.
That's it.
And like each time you release it, you get something changes and you shift and you get better and better. But I think, like, I don't know, you know, this like struggle for immediate instant perfection is such a creative block.
Oh, it
like
is. It
massively.
Is. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, but yes, especially things with like social media and stuff like that now, you know, you see people just coming straight off the bat and they've got these amazing productions and you're just like, where's your groundwork? Like, you know, like, how have they been producing a year and they're producing at this level? And you're just like, but I've been doing it for so much longer and I'm not at that level. But then, yeah, different people have, you know, maybe they've got lots of people around them that are really good at producing or taught them in certain ways, or maybe they just hunkered down really, really hard. And I've just been blinking, procrastinating.
Well, I think people would have different techniques. Like, some people produce with another producer in the room, you know, they work together. And you know, everybody's got a different way of doing it. I think some artists feel like unless it's them by themselves in their room, then it's not, and it's not them.
That's it.
That makes sense.
That's it. Yeah, because some people, like, you know, they'll get in engineers and stuff like that, or like, you know, they'll get their tracks mixed and mastered down. Whereas I'm trying to do all those processes myself because I don't know why, but I've just really wanted to be able to do it all myself.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I think mainly because now I'm definitely going to go down the route of self-releasing and launching my own label.
Is this like, are we announcing that right here?
I mean, yeah, it's been in the chats for ages. A lot of people, like, I've been talking about it for blinking ages, just need to get it blinking.
Okay, well, it's out on the internet now. So you have to do it.
Oh, well, yeah, to anybody who's listening, anybody that cares. But yeah, no, and yeah, because I think after so many years of doing music, I've discovered, like, you know, I love organising things. I love working with other people. I love doing the artwork because I'm a graphic designer during the day. And I love producing and building like anything to do with the music, and I feel like running a record label is just something that is calling my name. Like I'd love to work with other artists that are smaller, do A&R, bring them up, bring their confidence, and like, you know, I like that kind of thing. So it's definitely a progression that I'm going to go down soon.
I think you'd be so good at like hyping people up.
Yeah, I love it.
You'd be so good at that.
I love it. Like that's one of the biggest things I love in like about music is hyping other people up. Like, you know, that's why I did Jungleism. That's how I had the promoters come along. So I'm just like, you guys need to pay attention to these people because they're great. Like, you know, and it's the same with like my radio station, like not radio station, my radio show on Cool FM. It's like, you know, I like to bring Scottish artists on and showcase what we've got up here, as well as I'm going to be bringing artists from other countries that are like, you know, just I like showcasing other people and showing other people off, if you know what I mean. And I feel like with a label, I'd be like, yes, like let's amp them up. I want to be able to create and promote these people and like, you know, build like a good brand of like, I want people to be like, oh yeah, that label, they've got such good artists that have started off small that have blown up and stuff like that. Like I'd love that. Like, yeah.
Yes. And like which labels are you feeling most inspired by at the moment?
Oh, that is a good question. So actually, like, on my radio show, I've been doing a sort of like a point of focus series where I have just been deep diving into like back catalogues of just certain labels. So last month I did Agent Audio, and they've got this like, really underground sort of dystopian sort of jungle drum and bass, but really atmospheric and industrial like kind of vibe, and I really like that label at the moment. There was another, I really like Samurai Music. They're really good. And I'm trying to think. One of the biggest labels that has inspired me is definitely Cosmic Bridge, though. Om Unit's label. I'm a massive Om Unit fan, and like that kind of the music released on there was like so different to everything else, but also like I don't know how to describe it. It was just amazing. It was such a good era of like music that it still inspires me to this day. So like, yeah. Also, I like labels that really take care of the visual aspect of it as well. Like, you know, I'm not so big on labels that are just like, oh, AI art or whatever.
Yeah,
like that.
sure.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody's like spent years learning how to produce, years learning how to make great music, and then they just last minute just slap some AI art on it, and you're just like, really?
Yeah.
Is that all that's worth? So yeah, I'm trying to think which labels. There's a label, I think it's called, is it Spec?
Oh yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. SPE. .c.
Yeah, but have you seen the artworks for that? Like it's sort of like trippy, sort of motion graphic, sort of. It's amazing.
I feel like Spec can do no wrong in my opinion. Like that is some of the best music I've ever heard in my life.
Really good label, really good artwork, that kind of thing. That kind of thing.
Such good music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's run by Darwin, I believe.
Yes.
I need to learn how to pronounce it. Is it Specie?
I don't know, but you know which one I'm talking about. And like every time I see their releases and I see their artwork, I'm just like, yes. That is cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, some of my favorite tunes from that label. In terms of like your music, like what's next? I know we've talked a little bit about like pressure, but do you plan to have? Are you making music? Are you planning to release something? Like
so at the moment I'm just finishing off some tracks for my first release. So I'm going to launch my own label, and what better way to launch your own label by releasing your own tracks so that I can learn the ropes on my own music first before I bring anybody else on. So that's the main thing at the moment. So I've got like the four tracks there that I'm like, right, these are the ones that are going to go ahead. So it's just a case of polishing them off a little bit, getting the mixing down, and then sending them off to mastering. And then I just need to create the artwork for it. But the idea and everything for it is there. It's ready to go. So let's just get your finger out, Cara. Let's go.
Yes, quit your foraging for 1 minute.
No. I mean, now that it's coming into winter, there's not going to be anything to forage. I'm like, I'm going to have to do this now.
Yeah. Like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So that's the main sort of plan at the moment. Just get that launched and see how we go from there. Just enjoy that process and see where it lands.
Hell yeah.
Just doing it for myself now as well, instead of like, you know, putting the pressure of me of like trying to impress a label or trying to impress certain people, just doing it because I like it I like the music that I'm making, I like the artwork, blah, 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 blah. And then I think, just go from there, see where it takes me.
I just think it is actually really cool that you have done everything your own way. Like, I think it's so easy if you're an artist who loves what you do, which you like, all artists love what they do, but you love what you do so much. And I think that there's such a massive temptation to like move to London to do things exactly the same way as other artists, no shade whatsoever, but you've actually just kind of done quite the opposite.
Yeah, it's my way, the highway. Like.
Yeah, and like that's incredible, to be honest. Like, you know, moving to quite a small town in Scotland and like continuing to pursue your dreams as an artist, even though you know it will be harder, you know it will take longer. That's really admirable.
Oh, thanks.
Seriously, that is like, that's tough.
Wow.
That's a tough, like, you have to be really, really strong to know that actually, like, no, this is what I want. Like, I'm not going to pay attention to everyone else. Like, this agent telling you that he's not going to sign you because of where you live. Like, you know, I'm sure there were some monetary reasons for that, but like, for you to still be like, cool, see you in Aberfoyle foraging.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see you out in the forest, mate. Like,
I really do think that takes a lot of strength. It's really cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no. We'll see how it goes. Like, you know, that's it. It's just like, for me, like, there's like fundamental things in my life that I think are really important. And those things are like nature and fresh air, tap water, all these kind of things.
That's come up twice now.
The Scottish tap water, did I tell you? Yeah, so like, those are like fundamental things that are really important to me in the sort of base of my period before I build up the way. So now that I've got those in place, I'm like, right, okay, I can build from here and still do what I want to do. And it might take me longer, might not. But I mean, this is the great thing about, you know, social media gets a lot of stick, but like, it's also kind of good because you can connect with people. That's how we connected. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because there's that option now if you use it correctly. Whereas before, I think if I just moved to the sticks and we didn't have social media, I'd probably be forgotten about in a second.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. I did slide into your DMs.
Yeah. It's like, all right. Cool, let's go.
I think I wanted you to come on my radio show, didn't I? I wanted you to come on 50 Cap. That's why I slid in.
No,
but actually, I just wanted to be friends.
Yeah. I know. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Let's be friends.
Under the guise of you being a guest on my show, which did happen, to be fair.
Yeah, it did. That was a good radio show. I really enjoyed that.
That was really fun. Do you know what? I will say, I think I've got better at mixing since that show.
Oh, nice.
Seriously, watching you mix, I was like, shit. I need to up my game.
Absolute dork when it comes to mixing.
Honestly, it's so good. Like, I think I've got a bit better. For real.
Nice.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Little masterclass.
Yeah. That was good because it was a dubstep one as well, which is like, you know, another sort of genre that I like to play. I don't get booked for it very often. I've been booked for more dubstep sets this year than I have drum and bass, which is interesting. But that's a whole other pool of music and everything that I'm going to be diving into more as well. Like, I think my sort of crazy drum and bass days, because, you know, if you're from Scotland and you know the drum and bass, and you'll know that I'm all about the tear out, neurofunk, jump up, that kind of stuff. But I think since moving to the countryside, I'm just a little bit more chill. Yeah. Just a little bit. Don't worry, I can still rack up the spice if I need to. Like, but yeah. So like going into dubstep and like halftime drum and bass is kind of like the way that I've been moving towards these days.
Oh yeah. So like with Nook, your club night, that's going to be more like, it's like more 140 dubstep stuff, right?
Yeah. We sort of did 140 dubstep, halftime, and that sort of, you know, that kind of, it's like very inspired by like the likes of Outlook Festival. When you go to Outlook Festival, and it's all that kind of like, it's just cool music, really cool
love
music.
That shit.
Yeah, it's the best place ever. Like, I love it. So yeah, it was really inspired by that because I feel like there was like a bit of a market for that in Scotland. It was a bit of a graft, to be fair. Like, you know, the nights weren't that well attended, but the people that did come were having a great time, and that's all that really mattered at the end of the day. When you had like maybe like 20 people on the dance floor and they're all grinning and dancing, it's fine. That's all I want. Like, yeah, that's it. So long as people are having a nice time and dancing, that's all I really care about.
Yeah. And is there anything else that you'd like to rant about before I move on to our quick fire questions?
Oh man. No, to be honest, I think we've covered quite a lot of ground. Just yeah,
I think we have. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a real test.
Man.
Right, here we go. This is actually quite a difficult question. I was not sure if I was going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. Like, what's your idea of cool?
Just being 100% yourself.
That's such a good answer.
100% yourself. Like, you know, just if you love something and it's seen as dorky, whatever, who cares? Just run with it. Like, you know, other people's opinion of you is none of your blinking business, eh? Like, you know, just do what makes you happy. And I think that's what makes someone cool. When somebody's really into what they do and they're really passionate, regardless of what it is, I'm instantly like, they're cool. That's what I think is cool personally. So everyone's idea of what is cool is different, but that is my idea of cool.
That's a great answer. Hell yeah. All right. What's the weirdest job you've ever had?
Weirdest and most favourite job I've ever had was selling strawberries. I loved it. It was so good.
Where were you selling the strawberries?
In Perth, in Scotland. In Perth. So like it was in a huge big strawberry.
What? Sorry?
It was in a big like huge plastic strawberry
You
thing.
were in a big plastic strawberry? Like by yourself?
Uh-huh. Punting
Like
strawberries.
in a costume?
No, not quite. No, not quite. But like, I love how you went to that. I just mean the strawberry costume.
It was like you were in a little strawberry hut.
Yeah, it's like,
shaped like a strawberry.
Like shaped like a strawberry. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. And just like only people in a good mood buy strawberries.
That's so, especially if you're in a strawberry hut.
You're not gonna get anybody in a bad mood coming up and like, oh, I want to punch strawberries. Like, you know, they're all in a good mood. So yeah, that was my favourite weird job that I've ever had.
Hell yeah, that's a very good one. All right, what's your favourite UK club night, past or present?
Ooh, that's a good one. At present, my favourite club night is Fuse in Glasgow.
Hell yeah.
Sof has been putting on amazing nights, and there's one really good one coming up soon with like Gothtrad, Komodo, Ila Brugal. Like they've been booking fantastic artists, really diverse artists. The sound system's good, the club's good, the environment's good. It's just, yeah. So that's probably my favourite one at the moment. Past, probably the Explicit nights that I sort of first cut my teeth on in Edinburgh. That's when they were bringing like Netsky and Andy C and Noisia and like all those kind of artists. And that's where I like really cut my teeth on drum and bass. So that's probably my past one. And this is my present one.
Good answers. What's your life motto?
Oh, life motto. I don't know. Probably like just run with integrity. And that's it.
Run with integrity,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
particularly poignant because you're running a 10K tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Run with integrity.
Yeah, but just be honest and be real and
I love that.
don't be scared. It's all is good.
scared.
Don't be scared.
That's a cute life motto.
Life is fine.
It's going to be all right.
It's all good. Mushrooms exist. It's fine.
If in doubt, go foraging.
Yeah.
That's your life motto. All right. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, again, it probably falls down the lines of like just like be yourself kind of thing, or like it's about the journey, not the destination kind of thing. Like, you know, so just make sure, like, just anything to do with being present. I can't really think of like a specific quote that somebody's told me or stuff like that, but just through life things, just like, don't take life too seriously, I guess.
I think for me, it's the comparison thing. Like, I think, I read somewhere when I was very young, like, comparisons are odious.
Yes.
And I think that's just such a good, I'm just like, we've talked about it today a lot, and we talked about it with Anna. Like, it's such a great way to like ruin your life.
Yeah.
It's like to take the joy out of stuff, is to like compare.
Yes, that's it.
Who's your favourite artist at the moment?
Favourite artist at the moment, probably like favourite artist of all time is Omunit. I'm such a big fan. Like, you know, like I sort of got put onto him when he was starting his sort of slow fast stuff with Cosmic Bridge, like maybe like, I think it was like almost like 15 years ago or something like that, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And just watching him as an artist progress from that kind of stuff into his more like acid dub series, and just how he's just been like, no, I'm not making that anymore, I'm making this now. And then like, you know, just going on his journey. So yeah, he's been like a massive inspiration and probably one of my favourite artists. Yeah,
it's kind of what you were saying. Like, he clearly like isn't going to be paying attention to what people think.
Yeah,
He's just going.
That's it. And you can hear it in his music.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. Like, it's so original. It's amazing. It's like, you know, obviously he really knows his stuff and stuff like that. So like, yeah, that's probably my favourite artist and probably will be for a very long time.
Hell yeah, great choice. All right, we've got some food-based questions now.
Oh,
I didn't give you a heads up about this.
Oh wow, okay, let's go
on the spot. All right, what's your go-to comfort food?
Comfort food, like a snack or a meal?
I think meal, yeah. Okay, I know we don't drink.
Yeah.
Sober girlies, we actually could have talked about that.
We could have talked about it because that has actually,
that does play into it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, when you used to be hungover, what's your go-to comfort food?
When I used to be hungover, it used to be chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk?
And pizza. in the bath.
Oh.
I'd be sitting in the bath with a pizza and that chocolate milk. When I used to drink back in the day, that was it.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know. Now I'm so much more healthy and boring now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what my comfort food is now. I just love crisps.
I'm like chocolate. So I'm such a chocolate girl.
Yeah, I love me some crisps. Okay, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably something like steak.
Did you hear what Anna said in the podcast? She said a buffet. I was like, that's not a meal.
That's a good choice though. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, probably like, steak, potatoes, and
steak and mushrooms that you forage.
Yep.
All right, what's your favourite restaurant, I guess, in Scotland? So I'd like to know the answer to this.
Ooh, that's a good one. I actually can't
You
think.
can pass. I actually really enjoyed the bagel place we went to.
The bagel place in Dunblane.
There's a bagel place in Dunblane.
I go there every single Sunday with my gran and I love it.
It's so cute.
It's so good.
It's like a little farm.
I'm going to vote for that. Why not? Like, you know, every time I go, I'm always very pleasantly surprised.
That's a vibe. It's like you being in a strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
Very good vibes. Okay, this is a classic. Who would be at your dream dinner table? Or Munich.
Well, I don't know. I feel like inviting like artists and stuff. I wouldn't invite artists.
Who would you invite? Nelson Mandela.
Eh?
Sorry.
I don't know. I'd probably just invite my friends. Yeah, I'd invite you. I'd invite the girls that we had over like the other weekend. Yeah, because that's a vibe.
That was a vibe. Yeah,
it was such a vibe. So yeah, I'd probably just like my nearest and dearest. That's who I'd have at the dinner table. Yeah, I don't really need fancy people.
No, we don't need Nelson Mandela or Nadia.
No. I'm not at dinner. I'd be a bit weird. Like, hi.
It would be awkward.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I just want to.
That would be imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why am I at the dinner table with these people? What is going on? Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, Pal, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, this has been Grey Areas podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you, Cam.
Oh my goodness, I totally forgot you were there.
That's exactly what Anna said last time.
You just sit quietly and just